Hey there, Ddraig back with Mixu Legendary Lords 2. This is of course part 2 and of my look at this particular mod, and there'll be link to the first video on this mini-series top right hand corner now. I've also done a series on the first Legendary Lords 1, which will appear in the top right hand corner as well. In this video we're going to cover Dark Elves, Skaven, Tomb Kings and finally a Greenskins Lord, as well as some unique heroes and units, which are also made available to you. So let's take a trip to the north of Warhammer and look at the Dark Elves who are settled there, and settled in the balance of the delicate isle, where one of the most dangerous weapons in the game is kept, the Sword of Kane. The chosen of Kane, Turius Deathbringer, as the captain of the Harganeth Executioners, and leader of the bodyguard to Hellborn. If Hellborn herself chose someone to guard her, then this elf is notorious for her ability to kill, and Turius is the master of bringing death to the battlefield, much like his title may suggest, being Deathbringer. Starting in the north of Orphan, Turius is within touching distance of the Sword of Kane. Now all he has to do is to keep the High Elves or anyone else from coming to claim his destiny as the chosen one. Faction wise, he is obviously on very good terms with the Harganeth, and should be a simple matter to join up with his mistress Hellborn. Bringing increased rank on Executioner's units, as he would only pick the most worthy to join him. Lord wise, his name provokes fear which he passes on to his units. For people who follow Turius, may be some of the most feared warriors the Dark Elves have. As you expect for someone called Deathbringer, he is pretty handy in a fight, having crazy high stat values, especially when he realises Fury is added when he takes to the battlefield. 300 AP and a bonus of infantry of 30. This is one of the most deadly warriors in the game, and 1v1 can almost defeat anyone, with a Sacred Slaughter making him more durable in combat and buffing anyone around him. Take him with a couple of units of Harganeth Executioners and they will cut through infantry like butter. Growing tougher as the ability, Yas, making it a problem for anyone to take down, so expect a lot of attention on him. Keep him well protected and watch the blood flow from his blade. Naturally, he has a totem weapon as well, give him a 30-second buff, whereas melee attack and fury can push his accuracy to pretty much never miss. A truly terrifying foe to face. So let's look at his campaign. It's quite an interesting campaign, obviously because you are the only faction of your type of Dark Elves on this island, because it's all fun, and you're surrounded by High Elves, surrounded by enemies. So it is a tough starting place as any in the game really. So what can you do? Well, let's start off with how the Northern Province looks. It's not bad. You got some good garrisons straight across the board. So you got tier 2 buildings straight away and a tier 3, which you badly need at the start. Oh, and of course, before I forget, you have the Phoenix Gate as well, which is really nice. Good garrison there. So that protects your rear. Doesn't protect you from this one, unfortunately, but say a V. Then we've got obviously the key building, or the key area, Shrine of Kane. And that's half done, so you just need the 10 turns and that bit of cash to get the Widowmaker Sword of Kane, which of course is a key thing in the lore for Turius, because he is the chosen one of Kane. So you can roleplay that if you want to. Another things, some interesting buildings in Toranak. There's the Black Citadel of Aniak. It's got a nice pagoda, Incanvor buildings, very powerful. And brings a really good garrison. Of course, you've got a big port you can expand on them. Other than that, same old really. And if you're wondering, because I've got after this section, there's an extra little bit of, you get an extra unit, which you can recruit, and it's a elite army. And there's a regiment renowned, so let's just quickly get to that, and I'll just do that before I forget. And just that one, but we'll go through that in a minute. Let's get through this campaign first, but it's just a standard regiment of renown. It's just in there. Sometimes you have to knock it through buildings like an SFO and things like that, but in this case it's just in the traditional regiments of renown section. So that's all I can think about saying about the main campaign. It's a really good campaign. I have played it a bit. It's quite difficult for obvious reasons, but it's an interesting campaign, and I wouldn't say the biggest fan of Dark Elves. I'm more of a High Elf and Wood Elf player, but they do have some great units, some very interesting units. Speaking of, let's have a look at this particular starting army. So you get obviously Turius. You also get you get a Heart Taker, or a Death Hag called Theresa Heart Taker. I'm not sure if she's a known Lord from the lore, but she's pretty good. The units of Hagenef Executioners, because of course you do. Witch Elves, big swords, couple of units of Dread Spears, some Shades with great swords, and some Dark Shards with shields, and some Harpies. So starting armies go, very nice indeed. And with that being said, let's nip to the skill tree for Turius here. So here we are with his skill tree. All standard stuff. The bottom one is pretty much the same. Just wanted to point it out. Strength through Spite ability, which is really good. And the Kindle of Fury, which is the upgraded version of that. Very nice. Then there's always personal abilities, became even more a combat monster. Unique abilities. So here's the passive ability, Sacred Slaughter, which I've already been through. The Dreadmaster. So more swaves. And what Dark Elf does want more swaves. Infamous and Feared, bit of enemy leadership debuff and casualty replacement debuff, very nice. Leader of Executioners, for obvious reasons you can buff that unit. And the Brides of Kane, so Death Hags and Witch Elves, again boosting them abilities. I find that quite interesting as I was going through this skill tree before I started recording, that you don't get many Lords that can buff 2 high-end elite units like this. It's very rare, so I thought that's quite interesting that. Anyway, the Hand of Kane increases hit points and adding the Death Bow, passive Death Bow for Hagenef Executioners, which is of course is the one from the Dwarves. And the name escapes me. Oh my word, I can't remember that. Swayers, there we go. Always comes back in the end. Then we've got the Braid of Hagenef. It's Pistol Braid, which I've also been through. And this is the Cauldron of Blood, and as you can see, there's special things you need to have before you can actually use that. I wield the Sword of Kane, build the Black Citadel of Anac, building Torianak, and Confederate with the Hagenef. And of course, you've got quite good diplomacy ratings with Hagenef straight from the off, so that should be quite easy. Sadistic, a very quick rank 4 ability, very nice. Eternal Hatred, which I'm pretty sure you should be given that by normal, but there you go, it's an ability. And Greater Ward of Kane. So all in all, quite nice skill tree. Got some really good abilities at the top here. As mentioned in the campaign, as an extra bonus, you can recruit an elite band of executioners. The Ossian Guard are followers of Turius. So much so that they obey him and would disobey Hellborn herself if it meant following their leader to the hands of Orphan and the Sword of Kane. It is their destiny to see it in his hands. At 1,650 points, they are the most expensive infantry units available to Dark Elves. But you do get lot for your points. High melee attack and defense, the Madness of Kane on their weapons, and 29 AP with 14 anti-infantry. If that was not enough, they bring their own fury, increasing the damage as they progress until they get the bloodiest and go on a killing spree. The perfect unit to follow Turius to help him to get that sword. A hero choice now for Dark Elves. You can recruit Carrion Darkhand from the start of the campaign, the captain of the Black Guard and the youngest serving member of Malekith's army. So you can tell this Dark Elf has seen it all and lived to tell a tale. He must eat Yevil in combat. A ruthless killer, known to have killed his predecessors in some nasty ways, knowing about Dark Elves as I do. Kurion now is utterly loyal to the Witch King, a rare thing in the Dark Elves' loyalty, so he stands behind his master, defending him and doing his bidding. A high defense and sporting that halberd, Koran is born to protect, coming with the Guardian aura. With 280 AP and a nice 25 anti-charge bonus, he can really dish out the pain, as any Dark Elf should. A great protector, if you're a caster, can just pick off anyone stupid enough to get close to him. With abilities to match, bringing the kudos that being the captain of the Black Guard is, bringing any 2 units near him to fight to the death, and this you're willing to go to any length, making him a fearful sight combined with Koran. Bringing the Arm of Grief, swallowing anyone near him, so if anyone gets close enough, they're not going to get away, and if they try to run, they will get a halberd in the back of the head. Speaking of his halberd, the Crimson Death is passed down by each captain, well, more like taken out of their dying hands by successors, but you get my point. A fearsome weapon, adding more AP and all that important melee attack. Clan Mordkin are an ancient clan of Skaven, going back to the days of Nagash, and a fight against the ever-ending horde of the undead. The clan became fascinated with the undead, and decided they wanted to be like them. So they started to adorn themselves with bone, or dyed their outfits white to make them look like bone. Feskit was a Skaven who helped the clan come back to prominence after the war, and actually started to get their influence and wealth back to where it was, due to using so much in the wars. One of the older chieftains of a Skaven, and if you're getting older, then you must be more of a very cunning rat to survive. Starting in the southeast corner of the map, the only way is north, to the Greenskins or west to a Tomb King. With the gathering of the bones being a right of the clan, naturally it appears in their faction effect. They also increase the armour of their characters because of the bones they adorn themselves with. Naturally adept at fighting the undead after centuries of fighting them. Also with extra armour for the highly armoured stone vermin, and able to recruit them at a much better rank, making this unit the backbone of his army. Feskit himself, well, Rat self, is not known for his killing potential, more being able to yast and buff the units around him. Sporting a large halberd and a shield, it provides good AP at 280, and a bonus for his yard of 25, with that huge defence making it difficult to snipe out. As mentioned, his abilities are more buffing. First with a ferocious claw band, buffing all nearby units. Remember, not heroes or yours. With nice physical resistance, melee attack and leadership. Very handy in the front line. Next we have Cunning Plan. Boosting the Skaven melee defense by 30, which is very high. And that's very valuable perfect vigor. Lastly, he brings a weapon to debuff the leadership by a huge 24, and removing the psychology buff, which is pretty huge and makes it such a potent weapon, even though it doesn't add any more damage. A truly fascinating weapon. So here we are with Feskit in the southeast corner of the map. Not a very popular starting place. I believe one of the Isman you'll start down here as well. So how about this for starting place? Well, as I've mentioned in my preview of this bit, that old Feskit here and the clan, what's it called, Clan Mordkin, is specialist for dealing with undead. So only natural that he is somewhere in the south lands where the Tomb Kings are, which are over here somewhere. And if you want to roleplay him as, you can go and take on all the Tomb Kings, clear them out, get all of his bones he needs. Speaking of bones, there's the Power of Bones. This is an extra thing that Mixu and I believe Vandy made for him, or in conjunction. So how do you use it? So whenever you kill somebody, or whenever you kill a thing, you get a Power of Bones from it. You get a choice to get the Power of Bones, and you can use that for rights. And as you can see, that's the rights you can use. So it just increases everything really, cash wise. Cover from sacking and looting, post-battle choice of stealing magic, and income from post-battle loot. So a very nice little bit. And you have to unlock after 3 sets of bones of powers after a battle. So yeah, that's how that works. So what about the surrounding areas? So you got Yzman to the south, you got the Silver Host, so some undead factions there. So I'll keep him happy. You've got that's it, Kokgar, there he is. So he's in the far east corner. Not the greatest starting place for any faction really, that. I don't think you really should have a faction that starts in the corner of the map. It's a bit dull. Because you can only go one way, and if you have to tailor your entire campaign just to go one way, you don't pay it off very often, do you? That's what I don't like about that. Now of course in Warhammer 3, this will be around somewhere, so I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that, as I am. Anyway, back to the subject. So you start off with one settlement, unfortunately. Level 2, a capital, which is handy, but still, it's not the greatest starting place, I would say. But the army is quite interesting. I quite like this idea, Power of Bones. That's really a real cool little mechanic, and a bit more unique for Skaven, and it's very lore friendly, so that's even better for people who care about those things, of course. And I happen to be one of those people. So, where's the biggest army? So he starts with some Storm Vermin, 3 units of Clan Arts of Shields, a couple of Clan Art Spears, some Swingers, some Rat Ogres, critical unit, and War Brightening Cannon, which is a really nice unit to start off with. Very expensive, and can really help with fighting against dinosaurs, which is right down here, conveniently. So if they've got any big armies, big dinosaurs, you can easily use that to take pot shots at them. So that's a very nice little unit to start off with. Other than that, those storm vermin are always nice. Not the most eat of the eat, but for Skaven they are, and they are pretty cool looking. Other than that, I think that is more we can say about him. So let's jump into his particular skill tree. So here we are with Feskit's your skill tree, and at the time of making this, Feskit only just come out. I think only a few days ago, so I had to modify my video to include him. So what's he like? Well, basic standard stuff, bottom 2. And always personal abilities, but that's quite good. Firmness power, that's a Skaven trait, very nice. I've always thought though, explosion does not affect friendly troops. Now in your, Skaven don't really give a literal rat's ass who they hurt. And so I would have thought that shouldn't really matter, but anyway, whatever. I suppose. No, I don't like it. I've decided. I think I should hurt everybody. It'd be very Skaven-like. So, top abilities. So we've already talked about this one. Influenced by the undead. So, huge bonuses against the undead factions, as it should be. I might have to play this campaign just to see if I can clear the map of all the undead factions mentioned there. Vampire Counts, Vampire Coast, Tomb Kings. I think that'd be quite a good fun campaign. And yeah, I might try that one day. Then you got the Mordrak Guard. So he's got Storm Vermin buffs, and that just adds all those, which is really nice. Especially the immune to psychology, as we all know. Skaven's not the bravest of all rats. Then we got Yongos Glory, nice growth, local province, plus tax rate 30%. That is a lot. That's a big increase that is. Cunning Warlord, so I've been across that. The Order of Bones, so nice reduction in scheme cost, which is quite good. The Batwing Halberd, very nice. Bonebreaker, so you can have him on that mount. Sneaky, Tricksy, and the Bone Fodder, which is upkeep minus 33% for saving saves. And let's face it, they're pretty cheap at the start, so that means they're pretty much nothing I would have thought, or very close to. So there you go, there's Feskit. Tutankhamun was the son of a wealthy king. Famous for his skill with a bow, he went out hunting and was killed as he was chasing down a lion by a crude spear. As was of the king's tradition, he was given a lavish burial, and when he awoke from his death sleep, he came back to being as a skeleton. He was angered with the gods because it is their belief of the Nekakawan that when they die they come back with a body of gold. Without this gift from the gods, he ordered his priests to create such armour to hide his skeleton body. Starting near the centre of the Tomb King's lands, by the Ash River, he has options to go north and get rid of the Greenskins, or deal with the yoke of Tomb Kings first, and recapture the wealth of the desert for himself. Faction-wise, his obsession with gold means he demands as much as possible, and makes his slave even harder in the mines, bringing more damage to all Nekakawan horsemen, be it archers or the Miekav, and increase their capacity by 2. Bringing good rounding stats, and with his skills with the bow means good damage from there. If not AP, at only 80, and there's a similar story for his Mi-8 at 160. Other than that, he's a good hybrid lord, but slow like most of his army, but he can fire while moving, which is rare for a foot lord of the Tomb Kings. Boosting ability to help with the archers in his army, My Ruby Done, which boosts reload and accuracy, a great buff as Tomb Kings tend not to be the greatest shots. Also, his Death Mask removes a lot of the ability of a shield, and reducing armour as well, making archers even more lethal. A brilliant hex to bring into any fight, and has a good long duration of 32 seconds. So here we are, Tomb King hands, and here with King Tutankhamun. We'll go for Tutankhamun. So, an interesting place to start off with. To the east of the Tomb King hands, so we got Black Khemri there, the Black Pyramid of Nagash down there, and all the other Tomb King factions. To the west, to the east, you've got the old gap, which actually where the Skaven just started, if you just seen that part of the video. And down there, if memory serves, and these have been down there. And to the south, we've got a couple of undead factions. Nekakawa, is it? Never? Yeah, Nekakawa Brotherhood. Or Nekrak, is it? Nekrak. And to the north, Greenskins. So, as a starting location, you got quite a lot of choices here. And as I said in the Skaven thing, I don't like being stuck in one location. With this one, I could sort of set up a base here, use Numas and Toccata. Speaking of, let's quickly go to the Garrisons. So, nothing special here. The other two and the other one. So obviously the Garrisons are not great, and you do have a couple of interesting things. You got the pyramids, the pyramid of Prince himself. So nice kind of jars. So that's really nice. Other than that, same old. You can get the citadels and the Mobile Chamber. And the Qatar, so his pyramid of King Far. And I think a bit of income for more buildings in the faction wide. Really nice. Plus 5%. It may not be much, but faction wide, that's quite substantial. So that's the provinces. So yeah, where could you go? Well, you got quite a lot of choices here. I've always thought for Tomb Kings it was to conquer the Tomb Kings' lands, be the ruler of the Tomb Kings, and then go wherever you want. I think I've played about one or two pretty short campaign playthroughs. I haven't played Tomb Kings that much. Another faction I need to get hold of, but there's so many factions now, it's tough to find the time sometimes. So, what about his army? So let's have a look. So there's King Canute, and I'll be going over him soon, after this bit of section. And we've got Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spearmen, and he is bonuses for these units, so obviously he's got them. And he gets a Bone Giant from the off, which is really nice. A really powerful character, and can do huge damage, and he has buffs to help him, so very nice indeed. Quite a unique unit to have in your starting army. I like that. So that's King Canute starting area. Let's go into his skill tree. So here we are with his skill tree. So all the standard things you get in a Tomb Kings tend to be a few bits and bobs, reanimate and things like that. That's gone a long way. There we go. Resurrect and when unfeared. It's all the usual things. And you've got Strike of the Tombs, so that's all the big strikes they can do. So nothing particularly new there. So let's have a look for the usual top tree. Prince of Numas, so income from trade, really good. Body of Gold, so that increases armor and physical resistance. Renowned Bowman, so that's attribute Vanguard to point for skeleton archers. That's very nice. That's really nice. Didn't realize I had that ability. What rank do you need for that? You need to get that to rank 5 and then it gets that. That is really nice. Maybe fancy a Bone Giant Vanguarded? Who wouldn't? Horseman of Numas, very nice. Obsessed with Gold. Income increases all across the board. So I can go up to plus 50%, I presume. Oh, plus 75%. Wow, that is an immense amount, because gold mines are one of the richest trade assets you can get, so that's pretty impressive. Rule of the Living Dead. So that's a bit of growth and a bit of cash replacement. His mask, excellent, I've already talked about that. Skeletal shield, steed even. Chariot, all the War Sphinx, very nice. Returned to madness, returned in madness, so that's boosting his own damage and physical resistance. Income, Prince among men, and finally, ceremonial bandages, very nice. Interesting little skill tree that got some quite good unique things, especially like where was it? Obsessed with Gold. That's quite an ability, and that is amazing. That is always a problem with Tomb Kings is that armies are really slow, and they don't really do Vanguard as far as I remember. Can't remember any of the units can do. Actually, I think the Horsemen can do it, can't they? But other than that, not many. So anyway, that's his skill tree. Before we move on, there's a hero to talk about. Ramatep the Visionary was perhaps the greatest necrotech in history of Tomb Kings, and is automatically recruited if you start with the above the order. A compulsion to create and build, and always pushing his underlings faster and faster to complete his creations. A reasonable combat hero with a nice heavy melee attack, boosted by the Fury stat, with AP of 120, and bonus for his infantry of 20 as well. Lacking armour, but can still do some decent damage to any melee infantry. Abilities wise, it brings Frantic Fever. I can make any construct have the same buff as Frenzy, a potent ability, boosting some of the massive constructs to do even more damage. Also, being able to summon a unit of Stalkers to fight, providing a useful protection for Necrotech or defending a Horde. Finally, we come to Gorfang Rotgut, an enormous orc, which some say is the largest an ogre. Being that his nickname is Troiter, they may have a point. The king of Black Crag, and is the main leader of the western end of the Death Pass. His main ally is a notorious Skarsnik, where he holds an uneasy alliance, having split up the hands between Skarsnik, who looks after the mountains around Karak 8 Peaks, and the east side, where the west side is protected by Gorfang. Starting in the spot west of Karak 8 Peaks, primed to push back north to settle his scores, or of his own foe with dwarves to subjugate the rest of the Badlands under his rule. Responsible for many of the grudge in the Great Book of Grudges, and really hated by the dwarves, as the faction abilities show. He also brings a small bonus XP from any of the Hordes fighting for him. It's quite a cool little addition by Mixu. In his army, he provides buffs to Orc Boar Boys, making them even more useful on the battlefield as a hard-hitting combat cavalry. Gorfang is a solid combat horde, bringing an insane charge bonus, so always make sure you run him in to get that first hit. Not highly armoured, but does have one shield, making him pretty tough in combat with a good sized health pool. Only 170 AP, so it can take a while to get cut down those damn dwarfs. Bringing the Evil Sun armour, a highly magic item which provides great resistance to magic as well as physical, and also his weapon, the Red Fang, a mighty sword which can provide an explosion of energy, knocking back at anyone near Gorfang, allowing him to escape, and yet his boys do the work. And lastly, we come to Gorfang. So, his starting location. Well, it's slap bag in the middle of the Greenskin hands, which, let's face it, the vast proportion of the Greenskins start down here, at some point or another, or in some location. So, of course, you got the dwarves to the east. You got the Karak 8 Peaks, and as part of the Yor, he owns this side of the gate, where, well, Skarsnik should be starting there, but isn't in this game. If memory serves, I don't know why this is ringing a bell. I was thinking about this as I was prepping this recording, that there's a problem that if you move Skarsnik, it can screw up some mods. So I think that might be why it's not done it. Anyway, let's continue. So you start off with Crooked Fang Fort and Vow of Soul down here, and you're down there, up there, and you also start with Karak Azagul as well, which is really nice, and Death Gorge as well, by the way. Yep, start off with all these provinces. Not a complete province, unfortunately, but you do start off with that, which is kind of interesting. It allows you to build straight up from the off. That's level 2, all those 2 level 2s, and how up here? Both level 2s. So yeah, starting garrison, starting buildings. Pretty nice, to be fair. Very nice. So what else we got? So obviously we got north to Iron Rock and the Black Crag are up north to there, and some goblins and the dwarves are all up there. To the west you got the Savage Yans and the Savage Orcs. There's all the Savage Orc Yans. Other than that, interesting starting place. Nothing massively different, but interesting. There's where the Tomb King started, the one I've just done. So not too bad, not too bad. Quite a lot of area to cover though, I would say. That's 4 settlements over a vast distance. And you haven't got much money to start off with, so it's going to be interesting. So that's Gorfang himself and his army. So he starts off with Orc Biggins, Night Goblins Fanatics, 3 units of Orc Boys, some Night Goblin Archers, or Fanatics actually, Orc Arrow Boys, and 2 Orc Boar Biggins. So that's quite nice little starting cavalry. Not known for the cavalry or the Greenskins, but those 2 are some of the best, and they hit really hard on charge. So really nice starting army there. So interesting. I'm not a big Greenskin player, but I can see why that might be quite an interesting alternative to the usual starting places. So let's jump into Gorfang's skill tree. So here we are with the skill tree. Your standard affair as always, stand your ground, get back here, all the usual ones. Got all the various personal abilities. Up to Warg. And then of course we've got this skill tree. Now this is an interesting one. So you got Big Boy. Nothing major there, but now you got D with Skarsnik. A DM will offer a choice where you decide what to do with Skarsnik. I haven't actually played this particular campaign, so I don't know how that works. Be interesting to find out though. I do like a nice story, because if at the moment of recording this, the DLC, the Hunter and the Beast, have dropped, and that had a nice little story with Wulfric's campaign. Wulfric? Not Wulfric. You know what I mean, the Empire one. And it's a nice to play through, got a bit of a story to it, a bit of a role-playing game to it, I would say. So anyway, dealing on, so better gobbles, Troll Eater, and you have to fight them stunties. So, as we all know, they are skilled linguists, Greenskins. Deal with Grimgore, so you got another Emma there. Brack is the new green. We are the best, make him more pointy. Some really great names here. He's obviously got Mixu's obviously got into his little greenskin head in it there. And Warboss of Black Crag, so that's when he gets, hopefully gets Warboss of the Black Crag. Very nice. Really interesting, that little tree. One of the most, I think that's one of the most interesting ones we've done in this little campaign video. And his armour, his weapon, with some nice bonuses to his weapon, which didn't appear when I showed you on the skill thing, which I've just done. Got a Warboar, Wyvern, and moving on a bit more. Dodger Geezer, Tunnel Boss, these are the usual ones, and Bellower, so that's just leadership Bellower. Very nice. So there you are. And that is a Gorfang Rotgut. With that, we're at the end of this part 2 of this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one.